THOSE Eyeshadows 2023 is coming to an end. It is the end of an era, but not without one last great update. I do have a pan to share with you guys today. It is the finale. It's a very sad day, but it is also a day of new beginnings, fresh starts, and I cannot wait to share my progress with you guys. If you are new, I randomly select 4 eyeshadows to either hit pan on or use 15 times. If I manage to hit pan or use them 15 times, absolutely amazing. I am then able to roll in a replacement shade, and it just keeps going like that. But unfortunately, there are no roll-ins today because after this update, I will be ending this project for just 1 month. I will be back in January with a completely fresh colour story. This just gives me a little bit of a break through December to work on my Pan That palette and just to play around with some eyeshadow. I feel like this year I've not really been able to play with many eyeshadows because I've been so hyper-focused on all my panning projects. But without further ado, let's jump into the update. I'm going to share all my shades with you guys. I'm going to share how many times I use them. Then I'm going to share some looks as well at the end. So normally I like to go from newest to oldest, but now I'm going to go from oldest to newest. You know, I'm going to keep it mixing up a little bit. You know what I mean? So the first shade I'm going to share with you today is the shade Flora. This came from my High Tide palette from Colourpop, and as you can see, it is like a dusty teal matte shade. It is super, super, super amazing. I absolutely love shades like this, and you are seeing what it looked like last month. We did have a tiny bit of disturbance last month, but honestly, nothing to write home about. And this is what it looks like this month. Again, not much progress, not much visual progress anyway. Colourpop mattes are super firmly pressed and super hard to hit pan on, so I really wasn't expecting to hit pan on this shade anyway. So here we go. This is Flora. This is what it looks like swatched. Get me remembering to swatch? I'm a new woman, guys. So yeah, you can see it's such a nice shade. It is a shade that I absolutely love playing with. However, this has been kind of battling it out with my Project Level Up palette. That has been my Book of Magic. So there's been a lot of teal and blue shades kind of battling it out this month. And unfortunately, I really have been focusing on my Project Level Up. So this has been kind of neglected this month. I've used it only 2 times for a total of 7 uses in the project. This is going to be rolling out. If this wasn't the finale, it would be staying in and I would be using it for another month. But it is the finale. Everything is rolling out. I love this shade. I wish I could have got more use out of this shade, but it was just battling with other things, unfortunately. So 7 uses in total. You can see there's not even a dip in it. I would have been going on for at least 40 uses. I think 30 to 40 uses with this shade if I wanted to hit pan on it. Loved the shade though. Absolutely love this palette. I really do want a pan in this palette soon-ish because as you can see, there is no pans in this palette and it makes me really sad because this palette is so beautiful. It is right up my street. You can see from my eye look today, I love super bright colourful eyeshadows and this definitely has those in them. So yeah, hopefully we can have pan sometime soon on that palette. But today is not that day. Next, I have another shade that is right up my street, but unfortunately it has been battling with the Book of Magic, which was my Project Level Up. This is the shade Proxy from my Lethal Cosmetics custom palette. You're seeing what it looked like last month, and we did have quite good progress as of last month. We were starting to wear away that Lethal Cosmetics logo in the pan, and it was such a beautiful shade to work on. It's like a vibrant, almost neon light blue, and this is what it looks like today. Hopefully you can see there is definitely some more progress on this. We are kind of getting a dip. It's like the tiniest dip ever in the world, but I'm getting there slowly. The Lethal logo is definitely wearing off and I'm really happy about that. So this is the shade here and this is what it looks like swatched out. You can see it is super vibrant. I could have worn it today, but again, that pesky book of magic. It's just stealing the spotlight. What can I say? I've really loved pairing this with neutral looks as like a pop in the inner corner. It is incredible for that. It is so vibrant. It is so beautiful. I've absolutely loved playing with this shade. I have used this 6 times this month for a total of 13 uses in the project, so only a few uses off that 15 use goal. I probably would have rolled it out at 15 uses, to be honest, just because I know it's gonna take a long time to hit pan on this. As much as I love this shade, I know it's gonna be a challenge, so I probably would have rolled it out at 15 uses. But I've absolutely loved it. I have loved reaching for this palette as well. This was a custom made palette by me. I call this the Smoke on the Water palette just because, I don't know, it's kind of blue, kind of grungy, kind of smoky. So that's what I like to call this palette. And it is such a reflection of my personal makeup preferences and I absolutely love it. So again, hopefully I can get some more use out of this palette, but I have hit 2 pans in this palette already, so it is not super neglected. It's looking a little bit more loved now for sure, especially with this logo worn away. So this is going back in my drawers. I have loved reaching for this, but no pan, sadly. Okay, the next 2 shades are shades that I rolled in last month, and we're going to start with my single eyeshadow. So I like to roll in a random single eyeshadow every round of this update, just because I find that some of my single eyeshadows do get neglected quite a lot. So this is the Revolution Maxi Reloaded shade 15. I did depot the Revolution Maxi Reloaded Monster Mattes palette. Ooh, that's hard to say. And you can see what it looked like last month. I don't even think I had used this last month, or maybe I'd used it 1 time, but it definitely was not a well-loved shade in my collection at all. So I was really, really glad to have it rolling in. And as you can see, it did go very, very well with the other 2 blues that I was working on. And this is what it looks like today. Hopefully you can see a little bit of disturbance, which is amazing. But unfortunately, I only used this 2 times this month. Not great, I know, but you know what? It's the finale. It's fine. This is what this shade is looking like today. So you can see these 3 shades did go very, very well together. They did blend very, very well. They worked as a team and I was really, really excited about that. But like I said, only 2 uses. I think because this month is the finale and I'm not rolling anything else in, I definitely did slack off with this project a little bit. Something in my brain was like, ah, well, I'm not rolling anything in, so like it'll be okay, it'll be fine. But yeah, 2 uses is not the best at all. I can't really say it clashed with anything either. It is like a really, really dark green. It is such a nice shade. It worked really, really well, but for some reason, I just was not reaching for this, unfortunately. A lot of my Pan That palette is very, very warm toned, so I think these super cool tone did definitely take a back seat. As I said, Pan That palette is my #1 priority right now, so these super cool tone shades just aren't really at the forefront of my mind, which makes me sad, but you know what? It is what it is. We are saying goodbye to this. It is going back in my collection, but hopefully we can get some love on it very, very soon. And finally, our final shade in this project came from my Carnival XL Pro palette, and that was my focus palette for this project. So every month I will hand select a shade to work on in that palette. And this month I chose to work on the shade Fortune, which is a super shimmery gold yellowy shade. And you're seeing what it looked like last month. Last month we did have a pretty big dip in it, and that was a big reason that I decided to work on it this month, because I knew there was a very, very good chance that I could have a very easy pan this month. The other shades were very, very scary to me. I knew that I would not have pan on the other shades, so this was my chance to have a pan this month, and this is what it looks like. You can see we have a pan. My little gamble worked. It paid off, and I have 1 pan to share with you this month. I actually hit pan on this shade today doing this eye look. Here we go. Can you see? It's going to take up half the screen, but this is the pan. Here it is. Here is the swatch. They went really, really well together. This whole color story is beautiful. And I do have Fortune currently on my inner part of my cut crease. I knew that this was not far off hitting pan, and I just thought, you know what, 1 more use. Let's do it before I film this update. And I did it. This is the look that gave with the pan. So I'm very, very happy about that. We have one pan at least. I always want to have at least one pan in these updates, even though I didn't do too well this month with uses. I used this 4 times this month, and as I said, it was rolled in last month, so 4 uses in total to hit pan. So I've already mentioned this look, which is the shade Fortune, but let's try and find some other looks that I did with these shades this month. Okay, so for this look, I used my Lethal shade up here. So this shade was put all over my cut crease and like my winged out shades. And this was paired with my Pan That palette, which is amazing. I love getting use on that palette. As you guys know, I'm trying to finish that palette. I don't think I'll be able to finish all of it, but maybe one shade will be finished by the finale. I'm actually so excited to update you guys on that already. But this shade was used a hell of a lot, as you can see. It was packed on right over the crease, this like winged out cut crease moment. I really, really loved this look. I love neutrals and blues together. To be honest, I just love blue. I love blue with anything. I'm wearing blue today. I would wear blue every single day if I possibly could. So yeah, this was a really good use for this shade here. This look was done using all of my Pan Those Eyeshadows shades this month. So on the outer part of the wing, you can see it's like a greeny, tealy, grungy kind of color story. I have so many eyeshadows around me right now, I don't know where to look. So I started with this Maxi Reloaded shade right on the outer part of the wing. Then I blended that out with Proxy, which is this medium teal shade from my High Tide palette. Then I blended that out with the shade Proxy from my Lethal palette to make that super beautiful gradient. This gradient was so stunning. I absolutely loved this look. And then, of course, I put the shade Fortune right on the inner lid, and then I actually blended it out with a different bright yellow, which is currently in my Project 10 uses. So this look, as I said, all of these Pan Those eyeshadow shades was in this look. That was my challenge. I wanted to have a full look with these shades, and this is what I came up with. I absolutely love this look. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. So this look is what I'm talking about the inner corner effect of this shade. It is so vibrant and bright and just neon. It is amazing as an inner corner shade with any color story. So like I said before, I did use it with neutrals, but I also used it with some pinks in my Pan That palette, and it just worked really, really well. The contrast was amazing. It was so beautiful. I love this shade so much, and I probably would end up panning it in future if it came into a project, or maybe I'll hand select it, who knows, because I had so much fun with this as an inner corner pop. It's just so magical. I loved it so much. And then finally, I have this look, and this again used the shade Fortune from my Carnival XL Pro right on the kind of cut crease on the top here. So that is a beautiful contrast to the neutrals that I had on this look. And then once again, I used my beautiful Lethal shade right on the lower lash line. Again, as a pop of color, this shade has my heart. I absolutely love it. And yeah, I will be missing it. I really, really will. So there are all the looks from this month. Which one was your favorite? Let me know down in the comments. This color story has been an absolute dream to work with, but now I am ready to take a break from Pan Those eyeshadows. I will be back in the middle of January, so I'm not missing any uploads. I'm not missing any updates. I'm going to be back straight away. But yeah, I'm just giving myself a bit of a break. I'm cutting a lot of my projects until January, and it's just going to let me focus on A, my Pan That palette, and B, my wider makeup collection as well. As a project panner, it's really, really easy to get in the rut of only using your project pan items, and all the rest of my collection does get neglected, which really is not good. So yeah, I will see you for this update in the middle of January, but for right now, it is Vlogmas, which means I am uploading every single day. So maybe you'll get too tired of this face, and maybe you'll just want a bit of a break from me, because honestly, 31 days is a massive challenge. I'm absolutely loving it so far. I hope you guys are as well. This is where I'm gonna love you and leave you. Like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye.